we're AI driven with humans at the wheel. It doesn't work that way. There's still a lot of dials to tweak. There's things to monitor. You got to look at change. If you were working with a graphic designer for social media before and there was 8 steps to launch a campaign for a month, that's cut down now to maybe 2 steps.
Yes,
So,
yes,
so
agree.
it's just things happen a lot quicker. They happen a lot more efficiently. And I think two areas for that would be anything accounting and anything legal. Any mistakes there, especially for a larger business, you're one decimal point out on your end of the quarter, numbers and figures. You have
Go on.
investors. I mean, it could be a nightmare, legal too. I mean, all of a sudden, you can't make a mistake on affidavits and all this other stuff where you're trying to rely on it.
Hello, and again, welcome back to another episode of AI Second Brain, AI Powered Business Thinking. I'm your host, Vimal Patel. I'm here with the guest today in house, Masi from Brand Dignity. Welcome, Masi, to our podcast. Thank you for being here.
Hi, thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Okay, so before we start, just talk us through about Brand Dignity, what you do, and what this brand is all about, and what you are doing right now.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're branddignity.com. We're a digital marketing agency. We're full service. We're AI driven with humans at the wheel. That's kind of what we like to call ourselves. We work with a lot of small and medium sized businesses, anything from consulting to full execution of strategies and everything in between. We've worked with small mom and pop shops. We work with freelancers, and we've worked with larger clients, 20, 30, 40 employees, and everything in between there as well. And we handle a lot of the core items that a lot of businesses need these days that don't really understand how to get involved in it. Things like SEO, content execution, pay-per-click advertising across Meta, Google AdWords, social media. We do a lot of website design. So a lot of the real core items that people are looking for, along with how to incorporate AI into a lot of those strategies to make them more efficient and make the processes smoother and quicker for clients. So yeah, that's kind of what we've been tackling now for the last few years has really been the AI stuff and how to incorporate it into client strategies. And also, it's important to understand too that we've been trying to get clients to understand how we use it because we want to make sure that, I think a lot of times people think that, oh, you're just going to put my campaign on autopilot and sit back. It doesn't work that way. There's still a lot of dials to tweak. There's things to monitor. You got to look at changes. You got to look at data and analytics. See, if you make a change using AI, well, how's it affecting you? Is it positive? Is it negative? So there's still things that humans have to get their fingers involved in. It's just there is no autopilot. It might come down the road in a few years, but you still need
Yes.
a human.
You still have to have a human to do all those things. Yeah. So yeah, nice. So yeah, being in the same boat as what you do, and then what happens in the technology. What do you feel like? What people, according to you, what is understanding of AI for a normal human? Like the way you said that you might have worked with a somewhat medium size of the brand, which like 10, 20, 15 employees, and then you might have like have a conversation with them, and then did their work for maybe for a quarter or so. How's your feeling like when you talk about AI, what do they understand, and then what do they expect that AI should do something for them?
I think one of the things that I'm starting to kind of hear from people is they do think that it's kind of a one-click option where you do kind of sit back. So the one thing, I try to let people know that we still have a human brain that needs to think about the strategy and the execution and the branding element. And even some of the technical stuff, you still need a human to really kind of examine and figure out where to plug in that AI because you got to plug in the AI somewhere. It's not like you just hit a button and it just tackles everything. So it's important for clients to understand that there is a strategy component before you kind of hit that on switch. And at the end of the day, it really just helps cut down on some of the process driven stuff. If you were working with a graphic designer for social media before and there was 8 steps to launch a campaign for a month, that's cut down now to maybe 2 steps.
Yes, yes,
So
agree.
it's just things happen a lot quicker. They happen a lot more efficiently. As far as approvals go, if a client gives us topics for content, let's say we're doing blogging, we can come up with those topics in a few hours rather than a few days and execute that content in one day as opposed to one week. So things just move quicker, but you still got to look at the content before it gets published. AI does make mistakes. There are sometimes it turns words into weird spellings and it gets kind of creepy on images with people's faces. I've seen like the demons and the devil on people's faces. So you gotta like
Agree.
pay attention to what you're putting on your social media. Um, but yeah, it's that's kind of how we explain it to clients.
Okay, beautiful. So now here is a interesting question, right? So when this client of yours or anybody who understands little bit of technology or maybe in-depth technology, when they come to you and then when they say that, okay, hey, you know, just do this thing with the use of AI and stuff like that. And then when you provide the solution, and then they go back and then they kind of figure things out by themselves. You know those famous examples of a doctors, like doctor tells you that okay, hey, do this thing or don't do it, and then some smart or over smart people just go out there and trying to figure things out on themselves, and then and then things may or may not happen right for them. So similarly in this industry, do you feel any of those kind of situations during this in your brand, and at the same time if you does, what do you do about it?
You know, it's funny. I do get that, and I got that before the AI boom started. You're
Okay.
always going to get someone that, I'll use SEO for an example. It's like buying car insurance. No one's ever really that excited to purchase it. They know it's a super intangible. They can't put their fingers on it. So it's tough for them to sometimes spend that monthly retainer without having some real tangibles to kind of digest at the end of each month. But the way I look at it is if we take on a client and they got 15 or 20 employees, and let's say I'm talking to one of the owners at the top and they want to take it by themselves, and then they're clearly not busy enough with their business if they want to tackle what I'm doing. If you're a plumber or electrician company, you go out and, do other things to grow your business that I can't tackle from my end. Deal with the boots on the ground stuff, the local community aspect and the outreach and knocking on doors and hit the pavers, and let me handle the AI stuff. And the thing that we do is we try to be very communicative on what we're doing. So a lot of clients will try to lead them at least the first few months so they kind of understand that there is steps that are involved in this. There is some heavy lifting in the beginning. And we try to let them know what we're doing. Some of them don't want to. They're just like, listen, I'm paying you, you do it. I want to see the reports at the end of the month. If they look good, I don't care. And some of them are curious, they want to know, and some of them try to do it, and maybe they're doing well. Sometimes we hear back from them in 3 to 6 months, and they're like, hey, I tried doing this myself. I don't have the time for it to worry about it every day. Can we just toss it back into your court? So there's a handful of different relationships types that we've dealt with this stuff.
Okay. Okay. Nice. Okay. So you do receive those things and you handle them very well. Nice. So if I ask for a suggestion or if I ask for any kind of a recommendation for somebody who is about to get into the job market or a business market of a technology field, and then if somebody's as a leader, if somebody comes and asks you that, okay, hey, what do I need to learn in terms of AI to find a job in this technical field, what would your couple of suggestions you wanted to mention?
That's a good question. I've actually talked over the last 6 months. I've had the opportunity to talk to a few younger people that are doing career changes. And the one thing that I tell them is whatever schooling you're doing, whatever education you're doing, it doesn't even matter what department you're in at a company. Every department, AI is infiltrating every department. Marketing, advertising, accounting, HR, all of it. It's coming for you. If it hasn't yet, it's coming for you. So, whatever you're learning, get some AI classes under your belt and really start to practice it and learn it, because I think now and in the future, there's going to be a lot of questions in job interviews on how you would implement your expertise in AI to do your job better. So it's definitely an important part. And the recommendation that I would make is if you're somewhere, if you're going to taking night classes or you're taking online classes, make sure to get a handful of AI classes in there and start practicing, on your own.
Perfect. Okay, so that's a very nice recommendation in terms of learning those things from the core, from the fundamentals to make you more stronger, and then you put your position very well. Now, that being said, if I may wanted to know, or if they wanted to know, saying that what industry, according to you, uh, still has a little distance where the AI has might have entered or might knock the door so far, but did not kind of did a lot of good or bad yet, right? For example, marketing, you and I both know that it's all about AI, like content writing and graphics and all those things. We understand that. But you are kind of versatile in the sense of having a clients from all the directions and then all the sizes. So which industry you still thinks that it's still there, but it's still not there?
I think the industries that it's it's going to take a little bit of time to really be 100% in the driver's seat for AI is anything where small mistakes can cause really, really big problems. And I think two areas for that would be anything accounting and anything legal. Any mistakes there, especially for a larger business, you're one decimal point out on your end of the quarter, numbers and figures. You have
It's gone.
investors. I mean, it could be a nightmare, legal too. I mean, all of a sudden, you can't make a mistake on affidavits and all this other stuff where you're trying to rely on AI because AI will make mistakes. It might not make as many as a human, but it will make mistakes sometimes. So I think any industry where small, mistakes could lead into very expensive, costly problems are spaces, and legal and accounting are two that really come to me.
Yeah, no, I mean, if I start thinking towards that direction, you're right. Hunting can be a disaster. I mean, human error is a one thing, but relying on the system and then system makes an error and then it won't be very much. I mean, you will not able to catch it the way the human error can be caught with a different, few different stuff into accounting industry. But yeah, you're right, accounting and legal. Yeah, so that's a very very good point. Now, that being said, if somebody is just kind of into the system of saying that, okay, hey, I wanted to create something, I wanted to do some kind of AI stuff, and then wanted to kind of study also AI, and then wanted to look for a job. So if I'm a very primarily, or if I'm like absolutely fresh, uh, with the having some courses in my belt, what do you think that what time I should give it to myself, saying that, okay, hey, you know what, this time is your golden time to kind of achieve everything, and then after that, this is the roadmap, or this is the way you have to improve yourself. Because what I'm understanding right now is that, and what I'm trying to ask you is that things start changing very fast. I mean, Google's IO last month, I saw that they have a roadmap only for 9 months. So now, that being said, things even for the big corporations are very tricky. So according to you, what should be the timeline I should consider, or they should consider, saying that, okay, hey, this is the timeline, this is how we have to move?
That's a good question. I think everyone's learning curve is a little bit different. I am part of a handful of online communities for some of the AI software programs that I use, and there's a lot of newcomers that are kind of learning the ropes and testing the waters, and it seems like some of them pick up quicker. I think one of the trends that I'm seeing is a lot of people are maybe starting a blog, and then finding a way to produce content quickly, maybe incorporate some SEO tools with AI and learn how to manage that. And some I can tell through the community because I can see they're kind of repeat customers where they're chiming in and now they're starting to help other people, and it seems like they move pretty fast. So it's hard to put an exact timeline. I think it just depends on when you feel comfortable. Let's say you've put some goals in place and you've had a pet project on the side for a website that you've been testing out what you've been learning. I see a lot of people that are anywhere from 2 to 4 months. They're picking up some of these concepts pretty quickly. Um, but as far as putting an exact timeline, that could be kind of difficult just because everyone's learning process is a little different. But yeah, I mean, it does seem like people are picking it up pretty fast though in general.
Is that safe to say that, anywhere you give yourself 4 to 6 months to catch up on things, move on quickly, and then keep open your eyes with what things are happening around you, what other tools are
Yeah,
coming up, and all those stuff? Okay, perfect.
yeah, just
Now,
on a daily basis because this stuff changes daily right
changes
now.
every day, every day. That's
Anyone
true.
can keep up with it really.
Yes, yes. I still remember the day when somebody texted me on November of 2022, and then text me and saying that, okay, hey, you know what? I made a PPT in 30 seconds. I say it's impossible. I mean, even to open the PPT driver and then, kind of put the first box and write something, it pretty much takes like 30 seconds. So how did
Yeah.
you make the PPT in 30 seconds? And that's where he just told me about ChatGPT. But yeah, but you're right. That timeline is absolutely reasonable and people need to focus on that. And that takes me to the last question. That might be the little interesting one. You must have came across the service business people, like for example, somebody who's doing the haircut. or somebody who's doing a nail job, somebody who's doing any kind of a thing which requires your hand, or maybe an art, right? There are a lot of artists, like let's say the painting job. I mean, the moving job or landscaping, cleaning job. Now, I understand that there are hardware and that there are tools to do those things, and then there are system, or there are kind of like all those hyper active, or like very nice and upgraded system to do that thing. I mean, there are machines to kind of make your nails, but there are still thousands and thousands of people are still doing the nail job. They are the artists, right? So what do you think about their future, with the AI in coming up, with the speed of light? What do you think about them? Or if you have come across any of those kind of conversation with somebody, and then you have heard about something.
I actually have had this conversation with a few people recently. We were talking, AI is never going to be able to replace a person coming to your house. Let me take that. At one point in time, you might get a robot knocking on your door to fix your plumbing, but
That's right.
I think we're kind of far out for that one. So for the foreseeable future, I think things like nail techs, barbers, plumbers, electricians, those are going to be hot jobs. I think in the next 5 to 10 years. I mean, they already are. They're mandatory and necessary. Everyone that rents a house or an apartment or owns something needs those kind of home service based positions. So I don't think AI is going to be replacing those anytime soon. But people that sit at a computer all day, those are the ones that have to like really watch out. There's a target on everyone's back because if you're doing anything digital, AI is coming for you.
Okay, so now that's a great positive. So, I mean, wonderfully said, in the sense of that's a big relief for a lot of those people who are not technological savvy, but they are in a sense of an artist. Some of the positions are more about an experience or an expertise, and then there are a lot of rules and protocols and compliances out there. And like for example, a barber industry. If you really think about industry, you have to have a license, you have to have a cosmetology license, you have to have esthetician license and stuff like that. So I was talking to a teacher other day, and then she was like, forget it. We are not going to allow that. You have to have yourself over here. You have to spend that 1,500, 2,000 hours over here in that school, and then show your trick, and then show your art, and then become a barber or esthetician or whatever it is. And then, it won't be, you can have a machine to do your massage, but what you're going to learn by having the masseuse license, that's a different thing that AI cannot replace. And she was very confident. She was very positive about it. And then I like that a lot. And then your thoughts are also similar. So yeah, so that's a very great positive for those industries. So that being said, very, very insightful thoughts, Masi. I mean, there are a lot of people will hear that, understand that it's still there. And there is a lot of options. There is a lot of opportunity. There is a time. There is a learning. There is many things to do in terms of learning the AIs, and then get those things going. Anything else before I let you go? I mean, if somebody wants to get to you, somebody wants to find out more about you, if you wanted to mention your brand name, where they can find you as a leader.
Yeah, you can hop on Google, hop on ChatGPT, just search for brand dignity. That's brandignity.com. You can find us there. We have a lot of really great information on our blog. We talk a lot about AI. There's going to be a lot of podcasts popping up on our site soon, an archive. So, yeah, branddignity.com. You can email me at info@branddignity.com, and we can chat some more.
Okay, Masi. Thank you very much. I'm going to mention all those things. Till the next time, thank you, everyone.
All right, you have a good one. Thanks. Bye bye.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.